What's up, future fighters? We are back. We just uploaded part five in today's series. And you can go to the Making a Future Fighter playlist on YouTube to watch the previous videos in today's series and all the videos that we've been doing displaying the making of this sci-fi fighting game, Future Fighter. So right now, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a quick note here. And what we're doing is we're jumping in here into the code. And what we're going to do is let's actually bring up the calculation again. Let me restart. Let me restart the game. This will just be a quick way to bring up our calculation that we're going to use. Put that over there. Put that here, and you can see there's a little bit of difference. We're trying to get so the current calc is 267. Target is 281. Target is 281, and so the difference is we're off by 14. That's not very much, and so this is the estimate that we're making with this particular calculation is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good, and using the X offset calculation is helpful for sure. Normally, though, we would be using 134 instead of this. We playing with different ways. So if we were doing that, so just call this calc 2, and that's going to equal 134 plus the 90, and then the target is going to be still the same, and of course this is going to stay the same. So we're off by a lot more. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, because this could relate to the more of the frame distance. So what do I mean by that? Let me take a quick screenshot of that so I can bring that up on another monitor. Okay, got that. Now, what do I mean by that? So what I mean is, one second. Well, hopefully 1 second. Let's see. Okay, good. So what I mean is that we are taking into consideration the distance from the opponent's center to the edge of the sprite, and then the distance that it takes to travel once the move starts. But what we're missing is the distance, basically, what's the edge of the sprite on the character that we need to use, because obviously, I can touch him here, and so there's 198 pixels between the X here and the opponent's X. So opponent, it's in the middle here, and it's in the middle here. So there's 198 pixels between those, and we know the traveling distance. We know the distance from here to here. We know the distance from basically here to here. So so to put that in context, so 263. So about 100 pixels, which is about what we calculated, right? 90 pixels, about what we calculated. So that does look like it's off a little bit. That's 297. Can't reach them. There's 280. So 280 minus 163. So there's 117. So our current frame is 90. That's what we're using. So that's off by about 27. You can see the total's off by 57. So it looks like some of it could be taken into account. Our frame calculation is a little off, and that's just because, you know, there's more. It's not exact. Like when I press the button, there's going to be a delay to take that button press into account and then change the sprite and then move everything. So, you know, we're just trying to get a best estimate. So, you know, we're kind of discovering what those fudge factors are right now, that we need to put in, that we're not taking into account just based on the math that's going on in our head, like the perfect environment that's going on in our head. And so, which is fine. That's what we're here to do. And so that's kind of what we're seeing there. Oops, let's bring this over here. Okay. So we can see there is a little bit, about 27 pixels off of our frame calculation. And taking that into perspective, given the horizontal H speed is 9. So, oops, that divided by 9. So about 3 frames off, thereabouts, or, you know, about one motion capture animation frame, which would be 2. You know, it looks like there's a button press that cycle is taking about 1 motion capture frame extra plus a little extra, which is 3, that's understandable. That can happen. It still won't get us to the whole 57. We're still missing 30 right there. And so, you know, what is that distance is sort of the question. And that distance, to me, that distance kind of has to be it's probably the distance from the edge of the standing sprite to the end of the strike sprite. Like if you line those two things up, because it's the arm's length, right? That's kind of really what it is. It's kind of like the arm's length. And I bet it comes out to about that. Now, do we need to be that precise with this? Because, I mean, obviously, using calculation number 2 and just adding, adding this, you're getting really close to what your target value is, and you're not overshooting it, which is what we did before. And overshooting will not work because if you overshoot, that means you're too far away, which means you'll be starting the move and not be able to hit them. So that is very interesting. So we're gonna have to take this concept, this concept of, you know, the edge of the sprite, which would be the end of his pink toe there, to his fist in the strike sprite. You know, that little bit of distance, I think, might be a key. So if you like this kind of work, why don't you go to boom, docbrockgames.com and check out the alpha version of the game. You can see what features I currently have in the game, the 2 motion capture characters that I currently have in the game, the characters, motion capture moves, and features on display. And you can put your email address in at the bottom, and I'll let you know when the game comes out. Then come back to YouTube because we have more AI to make. I'll see you there.